You are listening to Irene in Indianapolis, part of the stand-up Lie Down collection. Written by Chastity Veldt. Narrated by Ken B. Erotic. Published by Horsemen Publishing Incorporated. Copyright Chastity Veldt, 2020. All rights reserved. Chapter 1. The smell of freshly ground coffee hit Jake's nostrils the second he opened the door to Cool Beans Coffee in Indianapolis on a late Monday afternoon in May. He imagined himself floating in on the tendrils of the heavenly smells, like they did in cartoons whenever someone cooked a steak or baked a pie. Standing in the entry for a moment, breathing deeply, he inhaled the heavenly aroma. He was something of a coffee snob and always liked to find local shops in any new city he visited. After driving a couple of days from his hometown, Mankato, Minnesota, for a gig in Indianapolis, he needed to get some of the road fuzz off his tongue. Showing up a day early, he had time before he needed to check in at the club and let them know he was there. Jake Nilsen was a stand-up comic who toured the Midwest and Southeast performing most nights. He mostly lived out of his truck, although comedy clubs tend to have a club apartment where they would let comics stay while they were in town. He was 6'2" and exercised regularly. Jake had been a swimmer in college and still swam whenever he could, but would always make sure he'd run for a few miles regardless of where he was. Thanks to his light blonde hair and gold wire frame glasses, people often remarked he looked like Tony, the first terrorist killed in the Die Hard movie. He still had a swimmer's build and wore his t-shirts a little tighter than he needed to. Jake had been in Milwaukee a couple weeks ago, spending a few nights as the middle at Pretzel's Comedy Club and having wild monkey sex with a woman named Molly. He went home to Mankato for a week before heading to Indianapolis, where he was going to be the midweek headliner at Cracker's Comedy Club, as well as emceeing their Tuesday night open mic. He hated open mics and wondered how drunk he could get without being fired before his Wednesday night gig, except they were paying him an extra $100 to be the MC, and when you were a working road comic, you didn't turn down any cash. The coffee shop was mostly empty late in the afternoon, so Jake thought he might read a little. He had some time to kill before he needed to meet the club owner, and had a couple books he picked up in Milwaukee he wanted to finish, so he stepped up to the counter to order. "Hi, welcome to Cool Beans," said the woman behind the counter. Thank you," said Jake. "It's my first time here." "Oh, crossing over from the charge side, are you?" asked a woman whose name tag said Bianca. Excuse me?" "The charge side, you know, the big guys, corporate coffee." Bianca made air quotes when she said that. Her fingers were long and elegant. That must mean she's got a big dick, Jake thought, and tried not to smile at his juvenile joke. Oh, no, I'm not from here, so this is all new to me." "You mean coffee? Don't they have coffee where you're from?" Well, of course they have coffee. I mean, I've never been here to this place, or this city." "Oh, no kidding. Where are you from?" Mankato, Minnesota. I'm just here for a show. I'm Jake, by the way. Jake Nilsen." "Nilsen?" asked Bianca. "Nilsen," said Jake. "I'm Bianca." She stuck out her hand, and Jake shook it. Bianca was tall, nearly 6 feet, tanned from plenty of outdoor activity, and looked like a former athlete who put on a few pounds. She was curvy and fleshy, but when she squeezed Jake's hand, the muscles in her forearm flexed, and he realized she may have lost her tone, but not her strength. Jake watched her forearm flex under the dragon tattoo wrapped around her arm. He slid his gaze upward, taking note of her full breasts under her t-shirt and apron, pausing briefly at her full lips, then rested on her improbably green eyes. Contacts? He wondered, although he didn't care. Her eyes are gorgeous. Her black hair was tied back into a long braid that hung over her shoulder and draped over her ample bust. Faint crow's feet around her eyes that, as a comic Jake knew, she laughed and smiled a lot. He guessed her age at around the mid to late 30s. "Do you know what you want?" Bianca asked. "Just a latte for now, please." "Anything to eat?" I don't know. What do you have?" Bianca handed him a small menu and said, "We do sandwiches, some soups, and we have pastries." "Well, I skipped lunch, so maybe I should eat. What do you recommend?" "We have a grilled 3-cheese panini and chili on special today." "I'll have that as well." He paid
Sample complete. Ready to continue?